Right, this is Hatfield's 2035. Second recording. This is Chapter 6. Hatfield 2035, Chapter 6. The Stig's hair was cut short, and they were all clean shaven. Witch Hazel, the Stig's housekeeper, was good with a pair of scissors. Bumper opened one of the carrier bags. The scavengers had ripped us off. He tipped all of the clothes into a stack. Everything's beige and grey, he frowned. I know, replied Fingers. Haven't you ever been to Gravestown? What do you mean? Asked the Stig's mechanic. They don't like colours, explained Fingers. It would attract too much attention if we wore anything else. Broken Tooth picked up a pair of grey trousers from the pile and put them on. A few of the boss's lads are going to cause disturbance outside the main gates tomorrow night. He looked towards Bumper. You and Gadgets are going to have to sneak past the armed guards and turn off the main power supply. Long enough for you to cut a hole in the fence. Make sure it is big enough for us to climb through without being electrocuted on our way out. He paused. Fingers, Tag, me and Razor will wait near the Comet Roundabout on this side of the fence. I'm coming too, huffed Witch Hazel, wearing a beige skirt and a grey cardigan. Tinker is my son, after all. It's going to be very dangerous, warned Broken Tooth. We might not get out alive. The young woman hugged her old friends. Since when has this world been safe to live in? I know the risks. It was nearly midnight the following day when 20 young scavengers approached the gates of Gravestown, banging rusty old tin oil drums with lead piping. Come and get us, you bastards, shouted Kickstart, throwing a flaming torch towards the entrance. The gates of Gravestown opened, and 12 heavily armed security guards approached the crowd of colourfully dressed teenagers. They raised the machine guns into the air and fired a volley of bullets into the air. That's your only warning, shouted one of the guards. The next bullet goes through your heads. The scavengers ran away into the night. Gadget and Bumper crept behind the security guards and passed the gates unnoticed. Half an hour later, the electric fence had a power cut. The Stigs piled twigs from a nearby bush in front of the hole in the fence to camouflage their escape route. You'd better leave your tool belt here, suggested Broken Tooth. Hide it in the bushes with our weapons. We can collect them on our way home. What if we run into trouble? Asked Bumper. I'm sure that we will, sighed the Stigs leader. We just have to improvise. Just try not to be too conspicuous when we reach the town. Try to blend in with the crowd. The Stigs appeared through the windows of an enormous grey bricked building. Tins of food lined the many shelves of the supermarket, but the store is empty. Soon a siren blasts from every corner of Gravestown, like 1,000 trumpets. The time is 5 o'clock in the morning, the computer voice continued. Night shift, it is time to go home. Thank you for such a splendid evening's work. The siren sounded very sincere. All the tower blocks in the distance were in total darkness. The siren blasted again, like an air raid warning. The time is 5:35 a.m. Day shift, please make your way to work. Your shift begins in 25 minutes. All the lights in 5 of the tower blocks turned on, and the supermarket was filled with tired factory workers dressed in beige boiler suits and fluorescent orange waistcoats. They queued up behind one another, forming an orderly queue up and down the aisles, following each other around the store with a shopping basket in one hand. They each picked 3 tin cans and 1 microwave meal, and handed in their day's food vouchers to a cashier, sitting by the exit of the supermarket. Broken Tooth and the Stigs stood outside, peering through the shop windows. A young man wearing grey polyester trousers and a fluorescent green cotton fleece jacket tapped Broken Tooth on the shoulder, and he turned around. You had better join the queue now, if you want to get any food. The shelves are almost empty, explained the cashier. The leader of the Stigs smiled at the shop assistant. I'm afraid that we don't have any food vouchers. We're new in town. Are you looking for work? Asked the young cashier. Fingers stood behind Razor, hiding his face so that he wouldn't be recognised. He used to work in the supermarket as a shelf stacker. Yes, we are, smiled Witch Hazel, standing beside Broken Tooth. The cashier scratched his head. Well, you'd better get down to the employment office today if you want to eat. He paused and gazed at the visitors' chests. Where are your identification badges? He asked politely. They were stolen last night. We were mugged, explained Broken Tooth. The young shop assistant shook his head. It was probably the sewer rats. Have you reported it to the security police yet? We were just about to, smiled Witch Hazel. The supermarket cashier frowned. I'd better get back to work myself before they sack me. I'm happy that I could help. He vanished back into the supermarket. A line of people wearing beige boiler suits and green fluorescent waistcoats queued at the entrances of nearby factories. The time is 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the day shift, explained Fingers as they passed by row upon row of beige brick smoking factories. They used to work a 12-hour shift, but you know how it is with cutbacks. The employment office was at the far end of the factory site, alongside an abandoned office building. A tall, thin man wearing a grey suit and tie sat at a desk in one corner of the reception hall. Broken Tooth, Razor and Tag entered the building. Witch Hazel, Bumper, Fingers and Gadget waited outside. The streets were practically empty, apart from a few teenage mothers pushing prams and pushchairs on their way to the nursery, and a group of nurses dressed in white trousers and blouses on their way to work. Pause it there.